works.
Man, these are some nice cards.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I'll do a little. Let me see if we're. I think all right, we're good. We're live, baby. We're live. All right.
Hi, Mom.
Like in tribute to we got Johnny live streams over here. This is for Ricky no streams. Representing my boy Rick, Misfits for life. So let's just
that's a good one. Rick No Stream.
Ricky no streams, baby.
Ricky No Streams. He just doesn't want to go live. He doesn't like it.
And it's easy, man. The reason I titled it a Zoom call, because sometimes I forget that people are actually watching us talk. Because this is what,
Oh, we're live?
We just talk. Yeah, we're live now, bro. We just talk. Sometimes I forget the chat. Look, Aaron Davis is already in here. What's up, bro? Scott Naz. Sexton Knife Works. So
Matt's been on here waiting. He fell asleep, waiting for us to go live.
So people already joined the chat. Got my homeboy Pepino, already got his cold drink. Got me a little drink. And I'm sure John's got iced tea or some kind of vitamin water. And
I don't drink as much these days. When I do, this is what happens.
You need to stop, bro. You know what's so funny? This is how you know Mr. Netflix has made it, Mr. White Pants. When he speaks, when he speaks, people listen, bro. Everyone, you went on your little rants, you know what I'm saying? And I'm giving you due, bro, because you lit a fire in the hobby, in the community. And I see what's the oh my gosh, I forgot what what Mike and Ty's channel is called. Bench Clear. Bench Clear's talking about it. All these influencers talking about it. The anger in the hobby, the anger. And I just got a simple thing. I'll let you speak on it, but my thing is, you got your social influencers, you got the collectors, but it's like I tell people, if you want to watch it, watch it. If you want the blind leading the blind, let it be. My money's going to spend. I'm going to get what I want. I watch other channels. Like I'm going to watch my homies. I'm going to watch the card collector channels I want, because there's a lot out there, and there's a lot of good content, a lot of good collectors, a lot of good collections out there that I don't have that many hours in the day to watch. The only reason I even watch some of the crap that's out there is because you're sending me links. Like, bro, you
That's how I found them. People are sending them to me. I'm not looking for this stuff.
I think that's the only reason they got subs. So when they do say something, we're like, yo, look at this. Can you believe this? Like that, I was telling Cesar about this Justin Verlander, that PSA slab. What's up with that? I thought James sent that as a joke. I thought he photoshopped it or something.
I thought he did too.
Because you saw what I did
too. And then I saw Breakout Cards video, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is real. I couldn't believe it.
That was the nail in the coffin. I was like, yo, Ryan is talking about this? This is legit? Because you saw my text. I was like, that would be hilarious if that was real. Like,
Ryan's scaring the heck out of me in this hobby. I have to be honest. Every day he's finding something.
But I'm realizing with the modern stuff, the stuff that's faked, because the sticker auto, something's got to be done about this sticker auto. Like, it never bothered me, the sticker auto. I get it. Some of these athletes are super busy, super famous. They don't have time to go and have someone monitor them or whatever. So the sticker is just easy. But what about these Ryan Barukis and Trey Mancinis and, these middle relief pitchers that signed 10,000 stickers? What these people are doing is just wiping off their 25-cent auto, and then they're forging a Verlander, a Mike Trout on these sticker autos and putting it on a base card. And these people coming to the hobby have no idea what's what.
Okay, first, I'm a little offended by the Trey Mancini in there. You could have come up with a lesser player.
My bad, bro. Trey
Mancini's a good player. But I know it's
Mangini.
that's my name in Italy. According to my grandmother, it's Mancini. It's Mancini.
I think I got a couple Mancinis for you, homie, if you don't have it.
So, yeah, man, I mean, I think, now listen, I'm no printing expert. I don't know much about it. I used to work with some printers. That's about it. But it sure seems to me that newer cards would be easier to fake than older ones.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's easier
because I mean that old card stock's just
technology.
It's near impossible to fake it realistically.
That
T206 he showed, I mean, I instantly knew it was a fake. The borders are too wide and it just looks off. This is what I always say, you know, when you like Pepino, you go way back too. When you've collected vintage your whole life, when you spot these, something just doesn't look right. It's almost like a sixth sense. You can just tell something doesn't look right, you know. But that only comes with experience.
Yeah, I got some new people in the chat. We got to say what's up to W Vogs, Jimmy Guns.
Jimmy Guns is on here.
Yeah, we got Ziggy No, and of course we got Donnie live streams. And I don't know if Don was on earlier, but yo, where's Ricky No Streams at? Where's Ricky at?
Hey, I have to give some props to my man Jimmy Guns. You know, Jimmy Guns always speaks his mind, doesn't apologize for it, and he's always on point. I always found myself agreeing with him, and he always sends a good message. So I got to give props. I think he inspired me.
What you got to say, Pepino? We've been cutting you off.
Not much. I already forgot everything I was going to say. But...
Me too.
All right. I got a hot take.
Let's do it.
From a Yankee fan. All right. I might hurt some people's feelings, but I'm going to say it. Why are we retiring number 21, Paulie O'Neill? I see him as much as a red as a Yankee. Don't get me wrong. I know he's won 4 series with the Yankees. He won one with the Reds. But I think this was a feel-good retirement. I mean, 21 is a hot number. You know, I get it, but now no one can wear 21 because Paul O'Neill is now retired and enshrined in the monument. Like it blows my mind. Like he was a solid player.
Yeah,
we needed the leadership. Don't get me wrong. He came at a great time when the baby Yankees were coming through. He came perfect. We needed that leadership. But golly, I mean, he won the American League title. He had 359. I think it was in 95. But he's like a 290 hitter. That was an outlier.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm hearing of it. He was certainly a good player.
Good.
But you don't usually see players of his caliber with their numbers retired too often.
I can see the Reds. So, I can see the Reds retired.
Yeah, I mean, I think of him more as a Red too, to be honest with you. But I kind of stopped watching baseball shortly after he went to the Yankees. So you can't go by me. I vowed that, I was so mad at the Pirates because they would just, and to this day, what are we, 20 years, 30 years later, there's still a farm system for everybody. But, they had Brian Giles and Jason Kendall. And then that was the only guys we had to watch. So then they traded Jason Kendall. And I said, if they trade Brian Giles, I'm done watching. I'm done. And they traded him, and I was true to my word. I was done. I gave it up for a while. I just couldn't watch anymore. Because, I mean, it's fun to watch baseball, but it's not as much fun when you don't have a team to root for.
Yeah.
What you got, Caesar? What you got, homie?
Not much. I just remember one day in math class thinking about, like, I think it was the Yankees, just like how many people they had retired. And I was thinking, well, if baseball lasts 1,000 years, 2,000 years, they're going to run out of numbers, or they're going to start using 100, 200. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Well, they're close with 99.
Yeah. See, I'm not one of those people that believe like, oh, baseball is all of us. I don't know. I just don't see it ever like dying in my head. Like, oh, it's just going to disappear. It's not going to exist anymore. I mean, I guess it can happen. But I always picture in my head it's going to last as long as the world exists. So MLB is going to be around, NFL, NBA.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, he was a fan favorite. And like I said, I don't think if he was a broadcaster for the Yankees like he is now, they probably want to have retired it. But golly, I mean, it's true. I mean, like you said, Caesar and Paige, they said we're gonna start using 3 digits. I'm like, come on. Like, I mean, Paul O'Neill was solid, but he wasn't a Yankee all the way through like Bernie Williams. Bernie Williams came up in the system. He was a Yankee.
What's his rookie card worth?
When is his rookie? 87?
Is it Hall of Famer numbers?
Oh no, I mean, I'm telling you, I think his lifetime 288. He won 1 batting title in 95, and it was something crazy, like 359 he hit for the batting title, which is crazy. Can you imagine someone does that now? But he was probably, I mean, the thing is, he was in the lineup, but he wasn't like the guy that everyone was afraid of. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when Gurriel got the batting title with the Astros. He was hitting 7th or something like that, and he hit like 326 or something like that. But he won the batting title hitting 6th or 7th. Like, okay, great, you have a great average, but no one feared you, bro. You're getting fastballs because they're trying to get strikes. They're trying to get outs.
Yeah, I mean, a retired number should be something really special.
Yes.
You know, the Steelers won 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. Switching to football for a second, just because it's what I know.
We can do it.
So they won those 4 Super Bowls. They had so many players go to the Hall of Fame, and a few should be in, like L.C. Greenwood. They just had so many go. But do you know, up until a few years ago, they had only ever retired 1 number, and that was Ernie Stautner. And they just retired Joe Green's number. So in their entire history, they have retired 2 numbers. If you want to compare that to the Yankees.
I did not know that. Shit, I thought they were going to retire Kenny, was it Pickett, the quarterback? That kid looks like a stud.
They'll be retiring his number someday.
Oh, my God. I think Trubisky, he might play 6 games and they're going to kick his ass out.
I don't know. You know, watching preseason, Trubisky scaring the piss out of me, to be honest with you. I hope they go with Kenny Pickett. I hope they do. I hope they do.
Man. He looks good. For a young cat, he looks good. He looks the part.
My God, he looks amazing. And I'll tell you what, Mason Rudolph has looked better than Trubisky too. Yeah. But they're gonna end up trading him. They have another quarterback on the roster as well that'll probably end up being the 3rd stringer. They drafted a late round quarterback, but I think they've been marketing Mason Rudolph, and I'm not happy about that because I like him and I think he's a solid backup, and he's always played well for us when he's come in.
John, I gotta stop the chat. Because I'm about to throw my computer out the window. Ricky No Streams, yes, I said it. Ricky No Streams, a.k.a. Vintage Oddball, just said O'Neill was a better defensive right fielder than Clemente. I'm taking him off the text thread. I'm taking him off the text.
Okay, we got to call.
That can't be him. Somebody hacked him. That can't be his call.
We have to call his wife. He has dementia. We need to get him a doctor's appointment.
Let's do a welfare check. This cat right here, he just lost
the greatest right fielder ever, the all-time assist leader in right field by a long shot. There's not even a close second.
Not even close.
And the greatest arm in the history of baseball. Yes. Come on, Rick.
317.
You know what? He's just pulling our chain because
of course
Clemente fans.
So
I don't know. O'Neill played for the Giants.
Hey, so what's going on in Dodgers world, Dodgers land? Give us the inside scoop.
Rick thinks Johnny LeMaster was a good hitter.
This guy.
Not much. They're playing tonight. I'm off. So, I mean, the game is going to start in about an hour. I'm off today. And then on Wednesday, I'm taking off camping. I'll be camping at Jalama again this year at the beach.
Is that the beach? Yeah, the beach with the cave and stuff?
Yeah.
When was the whale? Was the whale last year or 2 years ago?
I think it was last year. I don't know. Man, my brother-in-law, my sister, I went to barbecue at my dad's house, and my sister and my brother-in-law came from Arizona, and he was just telling me, he's like, yeah, that whale video, dude. I watched that over and over, and I bust up every time you throw up. That's the funniest shit. He's like, you're trying to hold it in. He's like, you're trying to hold it in, and then it just comes out, and then you're like, you leave. But yeah, he just reminded me of that.
I just when you brought it up is when I remember.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said no. I remember when you brought up the beach. Every time you bring up the beach, you're always in the cave, and then the whale video was epic. I was like, this cat is over here on the whale.
Yeah, but when I first got there, people were talking about it, and I thought it just happened, and then somebody told me, oh, it was in the news like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh man, so I hope it's not like rotting. And I go over there, and sure enough, man, bleh, that thing was bad. It was already
when Yankees go to the top.
Pepino, what are you buying now, card wise?
Yeah,
what are you doing in the hobby? What's your current strategy?
I'm trying to stick to buying vintage, so most of my money's been going to vintage. And
what's the latest?
Yeah, I've been buying mostly vintage because I don't know. I'm afraid of it going up more, and pricing me out of the good cards.
So you're buying out of fear. I think a lot of people do that.
That's a great video, bro. That's a great title. Buying out fear.
But I mean, I think a lot of us do that. Like, holy cow, I better grab this now.
No, you're right,
I may
bro.
never get it.
I mean, you're right.
I did buy some packs to open up while I'm camping, and I have a bunch of blaster boxes that I'm gonna open up while I'm over there. So, but yeah, I picked up like a couple of Mickey Mantles that I needed for my Topps playing era days. That was sweet.
Nice. Where'd you get them? Because I know you don't buy them online.
No, right here at the LCS. My LCS down the street. I've been living here like 5 years already, and that's been my LCS for 5 years because it's literally like just a couple miles, like 5 minutes from here.
Now, aside from cards that YouTubers might send to you, what is that where you get all of your cards since you won't buy online?
Yeah, I get them in person. I buy almost everything I've bought in person.
Is there anywhere else you can go around to get cards though, other than that LCS?
Oh no, I have like 20 LCSs around here. If you want to say, I'm just saying that's the closest one to me. Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I don't have a single one here.
Oh man, yeah, there's tons of them. I have a pretty big choice, so it's not that hard. But even if you have 20, you can make a round in a couple of weeks, see all those 20, and that's kind of like, okay, well, if I start again right now, they have the same stuff that they had last week,
Yeah, you want to see them getting new inventory in. Yeah. I just think that the card shop experience is great.
Yeah, so this one that's right down the street, I'll go to that like every 2 weeks about. And so let's say for like 3 years ago, the last 3 years in a row, 3 years ago, when I first moved here, they almost never had any vintage. It was always almost nothing but modern.
Yeah.
But after this boom thing, it's like people were selling them collections with vintage in them. So all of a sudden, every once in a while, they start stocking a vintage when they never had before.
Well, you hit on something that I've been saying for a long time. I think Dave Blue Jacket 66 has said it too, is that there are a lot of guys out there with big raw vintage collections that way more than you think. And when you saw that Mickey Mantle come out of the woodwork after 30 years, possibly the best example ever, that just proves the point that there are still cards like that around. Yeah, that guys don't have, $50,000, $100,000 to pay to have them all graded.
Well, think about it. I mean, until YouTube, I didn't know how vast the community was. I thought maybe it was a couple of guys in my area, a couple of guys I used to run into at the shop. But I didn't know how big our little community was till we got on this. And then you think about it, the people with all the old school vintage raw cards, they don't use YouTube and technology. We discovered this when they get that stuff inherited by the kids, and the kids want to sell it.
Yeah, but even if they do, I didn't know this community existed. But I'd go on YouTube for years, but I never looked for cards, even though I am a collector. I didn't know there was such a thing, And if you're not involved, if you're not watching all the investment channels and everything, you might not even realize, what you're sitting on. I mean, once in a while they'll show it on the financial news, but they're not getting the same news that we are getting necessarily.
Yeah. The YouTube community as a whole is not even, I don't know what percentage of the actual hobby do you think our YouTubers our content creators? Man, I think like 1%.
I'd bet a very small percent.
Yeah, like we go and there's like 100 of us, and we just think like, well, look at fucking we control like the hobby. There's 100 of us. You go to the
We
national
control them.
side, there's like 20,000 people in there that don't do YouTube.
Pepino, we don't control anything, man.
What are you talking about it? John, we just discussed this. When you speak, the hobby listens.
Yeah, right. When I speak, the hobby gets pissed off, apparently.
Oh man. Hey, but bro, you were talking about LCSs.
Man. You're E.F. Hutton, like the old commercials.
Well, what's funny, I just decided to one day, I got a little triggered and I just decided to say the way I feel. And it was just to my subscribers, and I honestly didn't think much of it. And then I guess it resonated with people. So what that showed me, there are a lot more people that thought that way than just me, which is usually the case. But that thing kind of went viral, and then Mike did his thing, and then I get hobby, mostly support, but then the haters come out too, and whatever. So that night,
haters gotta hate.
Yeah, and
I Swift now.
So anyway, then I see all these other people that I never interacted with doing videos, and they're titling it similarly, or they're making it look like the same topic, but then they either really don't say anything, or they're like on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
So they're taking the topic because apparently that's a hot topic.
Yeah.
But then they're like trying to appease everybody. They're not saying anything. So I take one, whatever. I'm done with all that. I'm not the hobby police.
No,
it's not up to me to protect people from themselves.
You're onto the new. You're onto the new topic. You're onto the new topic. Buy now, fear.
I got it out, and I feel better now. And I'll tell you, and this is a little deep. This is a little deep, so don't take it at face value, because everybody takes what I say at face value, and some of them get triggered.
I take it at foot value.
And they don't look beyond or see the bigger picture sometimes. And I'm done with the hobby. Like, I'm done with the hobby. And what I mean by that, I'm going back to before I made YouTube videos, when I used to collect in obscurity by myself and do my thing, and I was happy as a lark. Because the hobby sometimes just brings me down. Things move on, and it's not the same hobby that it used to be. So I'm kind of gonna, I've turned off the news because it's depressing, and I don't want to live in that world. I'd rather live in my world. I don't want to live in the new hobby world of the investor types and infomercials and all that. I want to live in my world.
Yeah,
you see PSA grading all this fake stuff. So it's, to me, it's like, why am I not a fan of PSA? Why do I not send them all my money? And it's because they don't care about me.
No.
They'll keep my cards for 180 days. They'll grade fake stuff. They'll put an A on a slab and not tell you why. They don't care about us. And so I don't choose to give money to people that don't care about me. And I'm starting to feel that way in the hobby now. The more I spend on cards, the more I'm supporting, what's going on, really. I could be buying from scammers. I don't know it. So it's just a more fun place to live in a world without PSA 10s and some of the craziness that goes on.
No, I totally agree, bro. It's just like I was saying before with watch the content creators you want to watch. Same thing in the hobby, man. My hobby world is tight. Yeah. That's why I always laugh and I smirk because the YouTube channels that come out, I'm like, I'm tired of the hobby. I'm burnt out. I'm this, I'm that. Like, that's because your circle ain't tight. Like, my circle.
Yeah, it's not the card collecting that they're talking about. It's all the noise that we need. That's hard to block out sometimes.
No, and it is. I get it. I mean, I laugh a lot because I got, like I said, my circle's tight. I got you guys. I got Don. I got James. I got George. We make jokes of everything, and I mean, we choose to see that, but we make fun of it. It's not like we take them seriously. Like, how can you take a company so serious, and why are they the 800-pound gorilla? Like PSA, they are obviously, like, how does that reprint get PSA? It wasn't that was graded. It was PSA DNA, and it's clearly authentic. I mean, clearly fake. On there, it says reprint like 3 different times. I don't know if they're using AI. I don't know if they're they're just hiring kids off the street at $2 an hour, but there's no reason that should have been slabs.
Well, they do hire kids up, but they do hire kids off the street for very low wages. That's what they do.
It's
but with
crazy.
no card experience.
I saw people will continue to send cards. People will still send
Bob Gibson rookie card missing a corner that was given a 4. I showed that before. That's just one of the examples. And then everybody says that they're grading more strictly. Well, what does that mean? That they weren't that tough on 10s and 9s before? Like, what does that mean they're grading more strictly now?
Like, so all the old
10s are not
this
10s?
is not a new flip. This is an old flip, bro. It's a PSA 7 from back in the day. Yeah. Oh, that's not a new flip. And then people gonna pay money to get this in a new holder.
Well, now the time period of the flip actually, there's gonna be a VCP for that now.
Dude, that's a vintage slab, dude. That's gonna be
vintage slabs, right?
Vintage slab, bro.
Yeah,
that's an antique, homie.
and I just this grading 10s off center 10s, that's just blowing my mind too.
Yeah, because it was.
How can a 10 be an off center card when it's supposed to be a perfect card?
55, 45. All right, let's switch it up. All right. Hobby talk. Ugh. I hate PSA is a dirty word in my house. Anyways, Pujols.
Yeah,
it's my man. My man's sitting at 692. What's left? Like 40 games, 39 games, like 5 weeks.
I really think he should go on an exercise program, lose a few pounds, keep himself healthy, try to play as long as he can, and see how close he can come to Barry Bonds' record.
Oh, you think you want him to go all the way? You want him to go?
Why not? I mean, 50's the new 40, dude.
I guess, man.
I agree with John on everything except the body shaming part.
No, it's not body shaming. His body just won't hold up if he needs to get in a little shape. Because the more weight you have, the harder it is on your knees, the harder it is on your joints.
That is true. That is true if he's playing the field, but he's going to be a DH. The DH has saved many a career.
Yeah, that's because you're still young. When you get older, you don't have to do much of anything to feel pains in your knees and stuff. The heavier you are, the harder it is to get around.
How old is
That's
Pujols?
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Pujols got to be my age.
In American age or Dominican age?
No, he needs to go through a Rocky training program.
Dominican, he's like 54.
His
birth certificate says he's 39.
He needs a
42. I had 12.
He's an 80s baby. He was born in 1980.
I would just like to see him go as long as he can, Why not?
Well, I know everyone's like, this is his farewell tour, and I'm like, I think he's gonna be just shy because he went on a little heat streak this week. He hit 2 2 days ago, so he's 8 short. But I think he's gonna get to like 697.
What's his age? How old is he? I don't know.
He's 42. He was born in 1980.
So he's Tom Brady's age.
Brady's 44. No, he's 45.
So Brady's 45.
Yeah,
playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
And this guy just comes to bat every couple innings.
That's what I'm saying.
Get in shape. Yeah. He could play many more years.
Yeah. I think he's going to get to 700. But if he doesn't, they need to do like a Bernie Mac. Where
he could be like a George Blanda type. Manny Minoso had a hit when he was 50, right? 50 or 51.
Julio Franco is still playing, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's going to be 65 playing.
Here's a Julio. Here's a Pujols.
Yeah.
Bonito.
I do. I think he's going to fall just short, and he's going to be like, you know what? He's going to be playing on 10-day contracts like in the NBA till he gets it. Next year he'll finish at 697.
No, he'll retire and go. He'll retire and then be like Mr. 3000 and come back.
I collect Ichiro. Shout out.
Wasn't he just short too?
Who's that?
What's that?
J-Rod. A-Rod.
A-Rod. Yeah, he finished at like 690.
Dude, nobody cares about the steroid era players, man.
I think that's
they just erased them from the record books.
They didn't even let him. They didn't even give him a chance to hit the
No, because that was a bonus. He had bonuses in his contract with the Yankees every time he hit a milestone. 600, 650, 700. So they sat his ass down. They're like, you stole enough money from us.
He played here in Charleston when he was rehabbing that one season. They were drawing the crowds.
Oh yeah, I forgot
about the chat. Where the Charleston Chews candy came from?
What's that?
Is that where the Charleston Chews candy came from? From your Charleston?
It always takes me a minute to get his jokes.
No, I'm reading the chat. James is bashing us. He's like, man, these guys are bashing the hobby. New Pepino and Mangini TV.
We're not bashing the hobby. I'll never bash collecting. Let's put it that way.
Don't hate the players, hit the game, son.
There's collecting and then there's the hobby. I view them as two different things.
Very true. Very true.
I feel like everybody in the hobby, not everybody, but I just feel like the hobby's out to get me right now. And us collectors, that's the fun part for me.
Is that why you stay in shape?
Well, I'm hashtag team collectors, Oh, yeah. It's I don't know, man. I've just been biting my tongue. Everybody has their opinions.
Yep.
But yeah, like as far as all that's concerned, like collectors versus like investors and stuff, I don't watch them anymore. Like I remember watching SCI, right? What's his name, right? Jeff. Like and at first, and I was like, kind of different. Give it a chance. But there was one time, when he started opening up with how to make money off the hobby, make money off the hobby you love, and I don't know why that kind of like set me off. I'm sure I was.
It set me off.
It just kind of set me off, like what? And I remember I wanted to make a parody video, like I'm gonna make money selling my kids, make money off the family you love, like it just came to my head, and then like after an hour, I was like, oh man, I went in a rage right there, then forgot about
it. The thing that triggered me about that is he doesn't say make money off the hobby you love. He says make money off the hobby we love.
Yes.
But he only started loving it a year ago.
He's done a 180 though.
Like he collected when he was 14 and he had some junk wax. And now he's back in it because there's money in it. And it's like he wants our money. We're the ones he's coming for. That's the way I feel.
Tebow collection. He's a Tim Tebow super collector. I liked it.
Who?
SCI, Jeff. So I always thought that was a cool collection that he had.
I don't know who that is.
Kevin, I'm trying to keep up with the chat.
I started collecting low grade again, Pepino. I'm like, I'm going back to my roots.
I'm
getting out of all this chasing stuff,
I know you got some stuff on your desk. I got stuff on my desk. I was sorting.
Yeah, I got I did a video on it tonight, so I don't want to show that. But I gave Pepino, I opened it up with Pepino because, man, I love baseball cards. I love cards.
Like, I just have cards on my desk for no apparent reason.
I have a real special one coming.
Hey, so
but unfortunately, eBay has to authenticate the slab, so it's taken weeks and weeks and weeks.
I haven't experienced that yet. It just makes no sense.
I bought it weeks ago. I got a notification today that it was authenticated.
And the only shipping, I had a question. The only shipping you pay is what the seller has.
Yes.
Right?
It doesn't cost you any more money for that. I don't know if it costs the seller money because I don't do it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know who pays for that extra shipping.
Yeah, because they ship it far in some cases.
Well, it goes to California.
Yeah.
So what sucks is I buy a lot of the dealers are on the East Coast. So I will buy I'll buy a card that is literally up the road from me on the East Coast, but it's got to go to the West Coast and then back to the East Coast. So that's why it takes a long time.
What you looking for, bro?
The Miguel Cabrera slab I just bought.
Oh, you bought Miggy?
Yeah.
Wait, did you just say you bought a Miggy slab?
Yeah.
Not a Miggy card. You bought a slab.
No.
Oh, he got you, bro.
My 40 you're a sellout,
my 40 slip.
Sell out. Hashtag sell out.
He actually said he bought a Miggy slab. Oh my God.
What kind of vintage collector are you?
What kind of vintage collector is he?
You heard it here first, guys. Pepino's a fraud.
And people laugh at me when I say we're buying slabs and not cards anymore.
No, very true.
That ain't through. He's like, he's over there real quick. Don't be talking shit, man. Here's a Vladdy daddy.
Man, I don't know what I did with it.
It's getting authenticated, bro. You never got it.
Here's I can show my where's my piece at?
Big meat.
Oh. My 41 play ball, my REA win.
Nice.
Uncut sheet of 41 paper, baby.
So talk about that experience, because I've never bought from an auction house, and
that was my first time. I mean, I had to have Rick hold my hand.
You got fresh perspective. I want to dip my toe into that realm. How was it? Like, how is it easy to set up? Like, is it as easy to get in there, set up?
It was easy. So I wanted to bid, and it was the day of, because I didn't know, and Rick had alerted me to my first choice, but the same thing. And so I had multiple people offer to bid for me, and then I could pay them. But I don't like to do that, so I appreciated it. So I signed up, and they said it could take like 48. I think it was 48 hours or 72 hours, and up to for you to get approval. So when I signed up, it asked you for hobby referrals. So I wanted to make sure I got in for the hobby so I could bid. So I put Sean Tieford and Dave from Blue Jacket 66, because I know they buy there all the time.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they approved me like right away.
Oh, nice.
And then I just had to get myself familiar with how things were going, but I screwed up. So it's pretty easy, but I was doing it on my phone. I would recommend you do it on your computer.
What do you mean you screwed up, though?
Well, it's not as easy as eBay. Like, eBay is just a piece of cake to bid and see where everything stands, and it's not that easy on their website, on your phone at least. I didn't try it on my on my computer, but on my phone it was a little difficult. So, like, I couldn't even find where my bids were, like how to look up my bids.
It's not mobile friendly.
It's not that blatant. Let's put it that way. And it was my first time, and I'm trying to bid on these things. So I bid on this super rare Japanese Jimmy Fox, and I thought I bid. So what happens is you can bid up until 9 o'clock, and then if you didn't bid on that item prior to that, after that time period, you can never bid again, right? So you have to get bids in early, whatever. They could be low bids, as long as you bid on it. Then after 9, you can continue to bid.
What's the purpose of that? So there's no show bidding?
I guess they don't want late bidders like that coming in there, but I mean, it's probably going to happen anyway, right? Yeah. I mean, you just but if you weren't watching it prior to that 9 o'clock that night, like if you go on there at 10, you're done. You can't bid. So what happens? Essentially, it kind of ends at 9, but then it goes into these 10-minute intervals where if nobody bids for 10 minutes, the auction ends. But it's not per card or per item; it's total auction. Really? And so it ends up going to midnight no matter what. Right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what happened was I wasn't familiar with the website, and I didn't realize the first bid I put in, I didn't hit. There's another screen that comes up for you to confirm. So it was like, I'm thinking like I do on eBay. I put my bid in and hit enter, and I didn't think anything of it. Well, come 9 o'clock, I must not have confirmed it. After 9, I'm looking for my bid everywhere, and I can't find it.
Shut out.
So I don't know what happened for sure, but my bid somehow did not go through. So I didn't even get a chance to bid on that Fox. And but I went back and I noticed that I had bid on this thing. And then I figured out where to look at my auctions. So, I mean, next time, the first time is always the learning. But, it was a good experience overall.
How much of a premium is there? Like what's it called? Premium buyer fee or?
Oh yeah, that's 20%. So you have to know that. You have to know that you're gonna have to pay that much more.
No, that's interesting. I want.
But the thing is you bid accordingly, right?
Of course.
I mean, by the time you pay shipping and the government taxes on eBay, it's not much less, right? It's almost 10% tax.
Now, how do you get it insured?
Implemented that.
Is that something they offer to get it insured, or do you do the?
They didn't ask me. They just gave me a total. I assume they just insure it out of that fee.
I was just curious because some of that stuff was fire. I was just like, man, I wonder if you could ask.
Such great stuff. And I mean, the bidding's hot and heavy. You know, everybody got outbid on almost everything. A lot of us only got one piece. Yeah, vintage is really, really hot right now. And they're bidding it up, you know.
Yeah, those auction secrets.
Which is great because I have these, you know, vintage cards and some of them rare that I always thought were so undervalued. I'm like, and I think it's just because people don't know about them. And so when Rick told me what that Willie Mays I have went for, I was like, wow. I mean, I paid a tiny fraction of that. So these things are hot right now.
Oh,
but you know, I mean, with the modern cards, I don't know about your feelings on this. No. Listen, this is not a knock in any way, shape, or form. Because you know, I collect modern cards. But I'm just going to talk about my experience. So, you know, they used to come out with these numbered cards and, you know, they weren't so common. And I'm watching videos of like the investment typers that are going to shows and at the National. And man, they have stacks of these numbered cards that, you know, they don't look like anything special. They're LeBron and this one's numbered to 25 and this one's numbered to 5. And there's like, you know, every year that he's played, or I mean, in the recent years, you know what I mean? And multiple different products. What do you think? Are those going to retain value? Like, because when these modern players have so many numbered cards by the time they retire, what do you think? What's your opinion on that?
I just think it's too much of everything. I think if you stay to what you enjoy, you'll be all right. Like, I love base rookies. I think the base rookie will always have a place in the hobby. Stuff like this will always have a place in the hobby. You know, the 1/1s, the 1/10s, the 20. I got a rainbow of Glaber. It's the same freaking card, but the background is a different color.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the top names, the top 1%ers, the Trouts, the Judges, the Bryce Harpers, those guys are going to have value. But I mean, I got a box.
But like all the cards?
I think overall, I don't think it will retain value. Like, especially in basketball, you see basketball's taking a dive. My thing is, before coming into like the YouTube realm and learning what a super collector was, and to be designated a super collector, I always considered myself a super collector of Clemente. And I had the whole Topps run, and I had a couple food issues. But they were like, you have to be a super collector at 250 cards. I'm like, well, who made this number up? I'm like, if you collect vintage, how the hell are you supposed to get 250 cards of a guy?
You have to buy modern ones. That's the only way.
Of course. And then, I mean, I got a box of Judge. I got over 800 Judges. I got like 700 Glabers. And these guys
don't you think that's overkill?
It is.
Like, I mean, you can't even look through them all. If you have 800 of just one player and you collect everybody, it gets overwhelming sometimes. Like, I get frustrated buying set after set every year and multiple sets with all the boxes and storing them and running out of space. And it just seems like it just gets overwhelming at some time.
I have a ton of Corey Seagers. Like, I have a ton of Corey Seagers. I have like a 2-row box full of Corey Seagers. So when the super collector group, and I was like, 250 cards, I was like, oh, I gotta have 250 different Corey Seagers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I went through the box, I had like 10 of these, 15 of these, 20 of these, all the modern cards. That like when I first I gave doing breaks a try. You know, back then, like, they would let you pick your team. I don't know. I'm assuming they probably still do, but people would always give me the Dodgers. So they do a break of a case. And at the end of the break, I end up with like 15, 20 cards of every player. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So
yeah, I mean,
that's
this is
a ton of them from breaks back then. And then I stopped doing them. I was like, man, so much of this is like going to just filling up spaces I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this doesn't mean I'm knocking any super collectors or anything like that. But personally, I don't.
What are you about to say?
I don't want 250 cards of one player. I mean, where are you supposed to store all these things?
Man, who is this guy? Johnny Longstreet just spitting out venom.
I'm just saying me. So you have to preface things these days because you know, whatever you say, people think you mean you dislike the opposite. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't know where I'm going to store all these cards to have that many of every player.
But to get back to like what you were asking me earlier, if like a young collector came to me, you know, and asked me what should I collect, stick to the top names, like the top sets, tops 1, tops 2, tops update, Bowman. Like I didn't get into, if you like that stuff, buy it, collect it, but do it because you like it. You know?
I mean, people say this, and Lou, don't, you know, this isn't a knock. It's just like,
and John's got to be careful about everything he says.
Well, you do these days, but
John, why are you tiptoeing around with me, bro?
Because like, why would somebody have to ask you what they want to collect? Like that, I don't get that. Like, I just started buying cards because I wanted to buy cards.
I mean,
and I bought what I wanted,
like a young kid, you know. They want to know.
Even as a young kid, I mean, somebody gives you some cards and you pick, you know, you decide the ones you like or whatever. I understand what you're saying. It's just like, that's kind of, you know, one of the things in the hobby now is like, well, what should I buy that it's going to retain its value or this and that? Like, you're getting other people's, like when you go buy a card, do you walk into the card dealership and walk around and ask everybody what car you should buy?
That's true. Excellent point.
This is what we do with cards these days. Yeah. Like I would be standing at Target. I would be standing at Target at the height of the flipping thing, and guys would come up and they'd be there with their girlfriend. I can hear them saying, "Well, I don't know what to buy. Should I get that?" And then they'll ask you, right? Like, which one should I get? It's like, what are you doing? Why are you asking me? Do I take you clothing shopping and ask you what shirt I should buy?
I was seeing.
So you're not a. That's what I'm saying. You're not a collector if you're doing that.
Yeah, I remember. You know, I've seen that all the time. Like people asking other people, like, "What should I buy?" But one time, this one guy said, "I got $5,000. What do you think I should buy?"
Yeah, right.
I don't know anything about cards, but what will be my biggest return on interest the fastest? You know, but like that's. I was, you know, looking behind my back. Who is this guy? Like, just
you want to hear something?
For $5,000 and he knows nothing. But he said it right off the bat. He doesn't know anything about
it. They're trying to flip them or get that big pool, and there's nothing wrong with that. People pay $5,000 in the lottery every week.
Yeah. I don't think
that's what they're doing. You know,
I don't think I said this. I was in the card shop during the pandemic because, you know, we're in Florida, the land of the free, so we were still open, and a guy just walked in there. And he had like $6,000, and he went up to my buddy, the card shop. This was a dream customer. He's like, "What are your 3 most expensive cards?" And the guy at the time, my buddy showed him, what was it? He showed him 2 Pat Mahomes and I think a Trout. And the guy didn't go. He's like, "I'll take those 3." And he's like, "Well, total $6,500." He's like, "All right, I'll still take them." No questions asked. He just said, "Give me your top 3 cards in your display right now." He didn't care what they were. He got
well, you know, this happened back in the 90s. All the Wall Streeters. I knew a guy that was on the floor of Wall Street, and he was a friend of the family. And he came to visit, and he's telling me all the Wall Streeters were buying up all those junk wax by the cases, just storing them unopened, just as investments. So. You know, that one didn't pan out too well for those guys, but that's what's happening again now. So I get it. I mean, they're like, okay, I have a lot of money. I have my money in stocks, and the stock market's probably going to collapse with the current situation here. And, you know, I have real estate, so I'm just going to buy up some of the top cards and sit on them. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's a diversified portfolio. They do the same thing with coins. They do the same thing with art. Art was booming a number of years ago. Now I think I haven't been following it lately, but I think cards are booming more now.
There's just a difference between them and the mentality with collector and investor or someone a flipper. It's just a different mentality.
Yeah.
I was somebody made I was an influencer, was watching one of those influencers video, and he asked like a question like, what do you think about cards going down? Do you think they're going to keep going down or going up? And I just put, I hope they keep going down, you know, so I got 4 more cards. And I got a couple of pretty nasty comments from some investor flipper people, you know what I mean? "Oh, you're unethical. You're wishing people to lose money." I was like, what? I was like, that's not at all what I'm thinking in my head.
you know what's not fair is like when you're a creator, what do you call us? Content maker, whatever. You're really like you're not always allowed to say what you know. You're not always allowed to speak your mind. But every troll on YouTube who doesn't show their face and you have no idea who they are can say whatever the hell they want, no problem. But you know we're policed. And it's not fair, and that's why I beat up my bag the other night.
Like I'm living in New York.
Breaking news! I want you guys to know, Pujols just hit a home run. Scott Maz just told me. 693. My man.
693. Oh man, he's on his way to 800.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Pepino, show us the card, bro. Show us the card.
It would be nice to see, you know, an old player, a guy play a long time, stay in shape, play a long time, and we haven't really seen that.
I mean,
Tom Brady.
Brady.
Well, I mean, you know how there's kind of like that controversy rumor that Pujols is probably actually older than what he says he is.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's Dominican.
They all lie about
because he was probably 22 when he played in the Little League World Series.
Yeah, he's got great genes.
Well, you know, I think Tom Brady's younger than he says. I think he came out of college at like 15.
I hate the baggie on the PSA. Why do people still go to PSA? I hate the baggie.
I mean, some of the I don't know. It doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. I don't like the ones where it flops around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like CSG, they must use a laser. But...
Well, that's why I used to, that's why I was always an SGC fan. They always seem to have a holder that fit perfectly.
Yeah, they had
no matter what the card was, whether it's round or square or small or big.
It's genius. But I love the 69 decal. I know John's seen it. But some people
see, those slabs are awful for that. Awful.
It is. It doesn't like the SGC will actually accent the card. It's like a museum piece.
You know, when you have like a rare Thai cob, you want it to be. You don't want it flopping around in there.
Ooh, don't even play with that though.
You know what I mean,
got, bro?
But let me see if I have a. I was trying to show an example of something that might
stop flopping around. Your cob, bro.
The 51 Pepino rookie.
Oh, but you know, 51. Yo, bro, you need to get that slabbed up. Pig grading. That's sick.
You know, all cards are 10 to me and Pepino. See, but then I don't know. I guess is it just the old ones where the PSAs flop around? Because like this is cut perfectly.
Oh, that's beautiful, bro.
But it's perfectly perfect in there.
I mean,
I just think they have limited sizes
by year, just like everybody else, you know.
But you know, SGC, no matter what you send them, they cut it out to fit.
Yeah.
Pujols is actually 67. Look at my boy Snoop. Snoop can't talk too much. He's probably at work. I'll be back. My eBay chime. Oh, James is buying off of eBay. I mean, us collectors, we always talk about, we're going to take a break. We just bought all this at the National. We're buying this.
It's easy to take a break after you spend all that money at the National.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't. We keep on buying. Like
I know it's ridiculous.
Bob hits me up. He's like, "Bro, you still interested?" I was like, "You know what? I'll say I sent the money right at home. I mean, I sent it as soon as he's like, "You want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want it."
We fuel this hobby, baby. Don't forget it.
I mean, I have a set on layaway right now, and I still owe $100.
A set?
I had figured out the one with the Derek Jeter rookie, the SP.
Oh,
really?
So I bought the whole set, but the Jeter slabbed in an 8, PSA 8.
Is the set in an album? Is it in a box?
No, it's just in a box. She put it together by hand.
That's dope. And
like she just opened up a bunch of packs from the SPs and put the set together because it's not that big at all. That was a pretty small box.
Very nice.
That's a nice set. It's so condition sensitive though. So you're gonna put them in the album. Now, do you do one in each pocket, especially for the 93?
Yeah, I do one in each pocket only. I don't do the backside. So, and I already have the SP Derek Jeter rookie raw. So I'll put that one in the album and keep that one in the slab. Otherwise, I would have to crack it.
I love it. That's a true collector. Okay.
Well, that's funny, Pepino. I do the same thing. I like especially the old ones where I collected growing up or whatever, or in the early 2000s even. I would have multiple copies of everything. So I would put one in the binder, and then if I had it graded, that goes in the front separately.
See, John just took back every mean thing he said earlier in the show. You're a true collector. You got your stripes back.
You remember when you guys?
Of course, I'm a true collector.
No,
Rock made me crack my Nolan Ryan. Put it in the set, the 75. You guys remember I cracked that live, the 75 Nolan Ryan?
Yeah.
And I put that in the album.
I think I missed that one. I saw you pull your Mickey Mantle out and lick it the other day.
If you want to see anxiety, just type in like PSA slab cracking. I think he's a young kid. Mojo just did like a crack, like $1,000 card. And he had no idea what he was doing. I thought he was going to bend the card. He cracked it, and then he starts trying to pull it, and then he just starts pulling the card out. And then he drops the card. He tries to catch it. I love it. Like,
you have to crack it a little more than you think you do for it to come apart usually.
I mean, the very first old PSA slabs, I remember I needed, the Mike Smith was the last card I needed to complete my 83 top set. And I found it like in a PSA 8, whatever, but it was like in a $5 box. I was like, oh, last card I need, and it was there. So I bought the slab, went home, and I was going to crack it, but I was able to just pull it open with just my hands.
Boom. That's great.
Yeah.
That makes us all feel better.
That's the one I
Well, I mean, we got to talk to Jake. He's the expert at it, but the key to any cracked slab is you got to crack the corner, but you got to have a screwdriver, flathead big enough where you can pry it. Because when you start pulling it apart, once you break it apart, that card could just...
Well, it can, but if you break it in multiple places,
that's true,
work it'll just kind of pop off.
Well, see, too, you got to be a man about it.
But that's what I'm saying.
You got
to break it around more than you think you do, and then it'll just kind of pop open.
Before I made YouTube, I would crack a lot of slabs. You know what I mean? I was cracking them all the time to put them in my sets.
Yeah.
And so back then, I mean, I watched videos. I remember looking it up, how to crack a PSA slab, and it was mostly Pokemon people. They were cracking Pokemon constantly. So then, and one of the guys was like, he's like, do it fast. Don't be afraid. If you do it slow, it stretches. And he was like giving physics. He's like, do it fast. So just bam, snap it off. So I used to do them fast. I'd crack them and get the screwdriver and like whack, and they would just fly apart.
Yeah.
But when I did my first YouTube video cracking a slab, like one of my first ones was the 58 Mano. Like I cracked that one out of the slab to put it in my set, and I started panicking. Like I was going all slow. Like I didn't want to mess up the card. And the fear hit me, and that one took me like a minute or two. When other ones I would do it like in, 20 seconds, just whack, whack, boom.
So guys, let me ask you this: do you think that there's any chance that the gaming cards ever overtake the sports cards?
They did for a while, I thought, during COVID.
Yeah, some of the big social influencers who aren't card guys, they love Pokemon. They love that anime stuff. Like my son is big into anime. And I mean, a dang Pikachu. I know what Pikachu and a Charizard is. I know the names, but I mean, that's pretty big. It's almost like they're Mickey Mantle.
Well, you see some of the prices that these things go for, and how often you see them being sold at different places and featured in magazines. And here's the thing: NY Yanks Fan 7 just showed some Pokemon magazine. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at. But, I mean, you got a major card guy like him crossing over.
I mean, he's a card collector.
Yeah. No, but a lot of baseball card shops right now, they have tables and they have Pokemon and Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
Yeah.
All the time.
But but that's the generation under us.
No, but that's the thing though.
I'm wondering.
John, my LCS that's down the street right here, they're open till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So one time coming out of Dodger Stadium, like I was like, oh, I forgot. I think it was my Ted Williams. I was like, I'm gonna go get my Ted Williams. And I looked it up and they were open. I was like, this can't be real. And I called them. I go, are you guys open till 2? He's all like, yeah. I was like, all right. You know, I got out of Dodger Stadium like 11:30 at night, and I'm going to my LCS. So I was like, hell yeah. And I get there, they're having like a Magic tournament and Pokemon stuff, and you think it'd be kids, but it's all adults.
Yeah.
It's all adults playing Pokemon.
There's a couple of LCSs. They say that's what keeps the lights on. You know, they started with vintage and stamps or whatever.
I did for a while. That kept it like that was their moneymaker.
You guys just gave me a great idea. I'm gonna sell my cards and buy Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I'll bet that comes back.
No, Dungeons and Dragons is still around. It never left, bro.
Does that carry any value?
My brother-in-law still plays Dungeons and Dragons. He has a crew that comes over to his house, and it's all digital now. Like they still have the figurines and like the 20,000 sided die.
Yeah, but what about the old stuff? Like, do people collect any like the old games and stuff?
Well, I mean, like everything's collectible. Like everything back in the day is cool again now, you know.
I just haven't heard that term in so long. I didn't even know they were still playing it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, people were fanatical about that game.
Yeah.
There's modern versions.
Well, okay, so I gotta get back in the chat. So 4-Leaf said we gotta have a crack party, meaning cracking slabs at the
what?
Session. A crack party. That's 4-Leaf's idea. Then the Drew. He said he busted a 1913 National Game Cy Young.
Yeah.
I guess Jake.
Oh wait, I took that crack party wrong.
No, yeah. Ain't that kind of party.
You were thinking the drug. I was thinking the butt. It was like a plumber's party.
Yeah, plumber's party.
This chat's off the chain. Everyone's still.
Hey, Don, he'll know about the plumber's party.
The whose party?
Don. The plumber's party?
Oh, come on, bro.
No, the plumber with the crack.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Bro, I was in the same Airbnb as you. So, you know what? I was thinking, because, you know, the Misfits know, but anyone who's going to be in the Florida area in, I don't know, March, April, my birthday's in April, I'm going to have another... I'm thinking YouTube get together. So
where Tampa?
Yeah, Tampa. Back at my house. I should have the pool ready.
Man, like you have a party and I'm there. You know that.
That's what I'm saying. We'll probably do something kind of similar like last time. Do a nice little card show.
Do I have to bring you a birthday gift?
Nah, bro. Your presence is enough for me. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was going to tell the Misfits and all the cats because you know. Like a Fisher Bike is 20 minutes from me. Sticks and Seams is 15 minutes from me.
Yeah, last time I was down, Jason had COVID and he couldn't meet with us.
Yeah. So it's funny how there's pockets to everything. Like Philly has a nice little pocket of collectors. Texas has a nice little pocket.
Florida Philly does. A lot of guys in Pittsburgh too. I miss living there because, you know, it's such a pro sports city. And there's always shows and stores.
To get back, you said where you're at doesn't have LCSs, but I've seen a couple of videos about Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach has one near me.
They're saying that's a good one.
Yeah, that's near my house up there, but I'm talking Charleston.
I gotcha.
It's so it has tons of vintage. Man, he has all kind of collectibles. It's just
videos.
You could spend 3 hours in there,
well,
and it's all raw. It's all raw because that's a big retirement area, and so these guys come down from the north and they're retired, and I think they just go over and sell him their old collections. And he has an assortment there.
Did they fight for the north?
What?
Did they fight for the north?
Oh,
they're not that old.
Well, bro, the next time we visit, let's visit you in Myrtle Beach because I want to hit that shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds
and you know what? And I haven't been to there in a while, but Myrtle Beach has a number of big flea markets, and they used to have cards. But it's been since I first moved in there that I've been to one of those flea markets, so I don't know if they still do. I would imagine,
I'm sure,
especially with the hype that's been going on.
Yeah, the girls
because I love going to flea markets for cards. I'm old school.
Yes.
I've had a big kicking around idea in my head for like the last 2 weeks. Just how I was saying, there's so many card shops around here, and the other day, last Friday, I had at Dodger Stadium when I went to work, I had to park outside because when they expect a big crowd, they make the employees park outside, so I have enough room for the fans.
Yeah.
Park inside. So I parked outside, and when I was walking to my car, like one of those party buses came, and all the people in there were just like partying. I was like, man, I don't know. I want to do that. I don't know how much it costs to get a party bus for the whole day and go to like 10 different card shops, throughout the day.
Oh yeah.
It's
well, you know what?
That's a good idea because people do that with breweries around here, like bars or wineries
do that.
I was thinking that would be a great business to start is a card tourism. Wouldn't that be fun? Put together like different tours where a bunch of us go, and you go maybe see some players' museum, go to card shops, every card shop around.
You know what? You just made me think of something else because when you said that, I was thinking like
maybe catch a game.
Truck. But instead of ice cream, they sell baseball cards, like a mobile card ice cream.
Yeah, there you go. That's a way to get around paying taxes.
Yeah.
Fucking cards and tacos.
The only problem is you're gonna have a bunch of crackheads coming up to your ice cream truck because that's what they're selling out of there now. So they'll be looking for a crack.
Well, back in the day when I was a kid, they were selling ice cream and they would have packs of cards, and you could get ice cream and buy a pack. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on what neighborhood you're
in. Not my neighborhood.
I don't know. Here in South Carolina, most everybody's into college sports, so there aren't a lot. We don't have pro teams. Up in North Carolina, they do, but so there's not a lot of big collectors down here. Everything's really college, even college baseball. When I first moved down here, everybody would gather around for the college to watch college baseball, like up north we do to watch college football. It's just very, very popular down here.
Is it the Gamecocks?
Yeah.
No, like if you don't know this, they try to
ban it.
Tell USC that they got to change their name from USC, that they can't have USC.
Oh,
because they were older. They were older, but USC patented it first.
Well, it was very confusing when I moved here because I didn't know that they went by USC, and I'm like, what are they talking about? That's in California. I had no idea.
They tried to sue USC to stop using USC, and they lost, and now they had to stop using it.
They always had a good baseball team, so I think I don't follow college baseball that much, but I guess they won the national championship a number of times. And then just a few years ago, Coastal Carolina, which is right up the road from me, at my other place, they won the national championship. I couldn't believe it. That is a little tiny school that all of a sudden, they're pumping out some pros in football and they win a national championship. So props to them.
Yeah,
I'm hooking up my banner if I'm quiet. I'm going to change the banner. So keep on talking hobby.
Wait, what banner?
The little ticker that goes down. I got chilling with my
homies. You're gonna put sports cards prices up?
Something better. Hold on a second.
I mean, I don't even watch a video unless it has a ticker symbol with sports card prices at the bottom. Not even worth it.
Let's see if this works.
Nothing but comps.
What's a comp again?
I got it wrong.
I got comp C?
Yeah.
Let me edit this.
What is a comp? Comparison?
Yes.
Oh man, I got too much pressure on me.
I was watching a video today of a guy making deals, and there were a bunch of cards, and he's like, "I'm not even gonna look up the comps. I'm just gonna go on feel." because nobody even I don't know. It's hard to even buy cards anymore without comps, right? Nobody will even put a price on it anymore. They just they have to look it up at that particular moment because the prices are changing so drastically every day.
That's what I like about Frankensons.
Frankenbeans.
When I first started going to Frankensons, every card dealer was old. Was older people. All of them. There were almost older gentlemen, a couple of older women, but they've all been dealers their whole life. That's all they've ever done.
Yeah,
like, that's all they've done is sell cards, and they knew every card off their head.
Yeah,
you know, but now it's like even them, they have to they sometimes want to look it up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That thing might have gone up a lot. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
Yeah,
we make fun of it, but that's just the way it is. It needs to be that way at the moment.
The lady that I'm buying my my upper deck set from, the SP set. She's the one that sold me the 53 tops Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
And so she had one. She said she was talking to me something, and then she told me, yeah, I had a 53 Mantle and a 7 and an 8. And I said, oh, remember you sold me the 3. She's like, really? How much? I said 800. She's like, oh man, that thing's gone up so much now. She's
like, your mantle's beautiful. That 3 is beautiful.
Yeah. That's tight, that fell in my lap. That was like magic.
It fell in your lap? Was it drunk?
Like timing. Like I couldn't afford a car like that, but I was getting my World Series bonus from the Dodgers going to the World Series. So I was like, oh, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to afford it.
Hey, it was meant to be, bro. It was meant to be.
Did you see? What's up? Go ahead.
No, I'm reading the chat because the chat is hot right now. James is like, my LCS still looks up prices in the book. I love those.
In the book?
When the guys bust out the old Beckett, I'm like, yes. and then whatever price they say, I just cut them in half. I'm like,
2012.
It's the best. It's like,
I just bought a Beckett.
I feel like a kid on Christmas when I see someone bust out the book. Let me see what's going on here. I hate when they get the dang cell phone. Like, let me check the latest. Well, this one just sold for. I'm like, oh, come on, bro. Let's not do this.
Did you see what I got for my knuckles? I got Pittsburgh Steelers Band-Aids, baby. Try to find those.
Oh, Judgy hit 47 tonight. You think he's going to get 62? I think he's going to be shot. He's going to be short.
I think he's going to be short, too, at this point. But
I mean,
I'm rooting for it. I mean, how can you not love Aaron Judge? When I watched that one, I was texting people. I'm like, this guy is insane. When he was in that first home run derby and he hit the ball off the ceiling.
That's insane, man. 6'7", 280. I mean, it's just an oddity to see someone move. Yeah. And he was playing center field I'm like, bro.
You know what I'm sad about, though? I'm sad about him and both him and Jose Abreu is they came up so late.
Yeah.
And baseball fans really only care about total numbers. So they just came up too late to have them. Yeah. Because Jose Abreu was a great player.
God. He's a poor man's Pujols. I always compare him to
but imagine if he came up when he was, 21.
Yeah, but he went to college, right, for like 6 years.
Was it that long?
Abreu? I thought he came over from Cuba.
He was a Fresno Bulldog. Who are we talking about? Aaron Judge?
No. Jose Abreu.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It took him a while to get out of Cuba, right?
Yeah, he was older when he came in. At first, he was hot. Like, I remember his prices were pretty high. Yeah. And then it seems like when people found out his real age, like, oh, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I think, because I think he's a great player. And he's very, very consistent. I think if he would have come up when he was 21, you'd hear a lot more about him.
Well, it's like I think newer collectors are starting to realize what we've always known. It's fun to collect the new guys because it's exciting, it's new, something different. But people got a real shock, these Tatis investors, because it could change like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it could change. And in all fairness, it could change back like that. Because I don't think the modern generation with these wussy PEDs they use now, I don't think they're going to look back at the same way that everybody looks back on steroids. It's just my personal belief, because in modern society, we give like people passes.
Yes.
Criminals passes. Everybody has an excuse.
Especially athletes.
And these PEDs, they're nothing compared to the steroids, those guys used. And I just think that if he comes back and he has a good career, I think that that wouldn't hold him out of the Hall of Fame. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, look at Altuve. I thought Altuve was done. I mean, his rookie card is still cheap, but it's gone back up. Like it took a massive dip.
I just don't think it's. I don't think it's equal. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think they'll give them a pass.
Purely hobby. We're talking. We're not talking about ethical, moral. We're just talking about hobby stuff.
But that's if he comes back. There's a lot of ifs with these young players. And the other thing is when you see. I think about this with football. There are virtually no running backs anymore. But you look at wide receivers and running backs in football cards, right? They're never worth anything.
Quarterback is king.
Who are the greatest wide receivers in history? Like Torrey Holt, junk. They're worth nothing. Chris Carter, those kinds of nothing. Even though they were great. And you look at running backs,
Marvin Harrison,
LaDainian Tomlinson, Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson,
Sean Alexander.
Reggie Bush.
The list goes on and on.
O.J. Simpson.
USC, bro.
Reggie Bush.
O.J. Simpson.
Bro.
No, but these guys were like some of the greatest running backs in history. Terrell Davis. And they're worth nothing. They're worth nothing.
Oh, I want to start.
And so when you're buying up these young wide receivers and running backs, and you have to know that some of them could be the best, the absolute best for 3 or 4 years, and end up being no one remembers them.
No.
I think that's one of the subjects, right, that we talked about the last stream when John couldn't get on, or like who would have been like super hype right now, who would have been super expensive from the past. We said like Bo Jackson, like if he was doing what he did, he was the first one. Right now, there were so many investors right now hit with his accomplishment.
Bro,
hey, listen. When the greatest show on turf was going to the Super Bowl, how much would Kurt Warner and Torrey Holt and Marshall Faulk sell?
Marshall Faulk.
Now you can't give them away.
Marshall Faulk is probably one of the greatest football players I've
one of the greatest all-around football players, that ever played. He was awesome. But nobody cares,
bro.
This is my point. At the time, if they were up now, they would all be worth a fortune. So this is what you have to be careful about if you're investing in those types of players.
Yeah, imagine like Brian Bosworth doing what he was doing back then now. Yeah. Oh my God, he will be so pumped up.
As long as you didn't see him play in the pros. Before he played in the pros, as he was coming into the pros, his cards would have been insane.
Everybody knew who Brian Bosworth was.
Absolutely. John. But when Bo Jackson ran him over, his career, his legacy died right then and there.
He was so much bigger
than for John. Look at that, the greatest of all time, baby. He can't see without his glasses.
I can see who you're showing. I don't even have to see. I know who you're showing.
Hey, this was my guy, though. This was my guy.
I can't see that one. Who's that?
One of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time, and they're all Cowboys.
No, this is Edgerrin James.
Oh, he was a great running back, too.
I loved him. He was my guy because he was from Immokalee, so he was close to like Fort Myers, Lehigh.
The other guy that was putting up insane numbers, but he didn't play on any, their team wasn't good at that particular time, was Steven Jackson.
Yeah. Larry, don't forget, you mentioned Priest Holmes, didn't you? Priest Holmes.
I mentioned, he was unstoppable for several years. How about Jamal Charles?
Oh, Jamal Charles, yeah.
I mean, he was the best running back in the league.
The Chiefs had a nice little run. It went from Priest Holmes to Jamal Charles, and then Larry Johnson had.
Larry Johnson was before Jamal Charles.
Was he?
Yes.
Was he in between?
Yeah, he was in between. And I have Jamal Charles. Like I'm buying up his autographs and stuff. They're worth nothing.
Nothing. Larry Johnson didn't he go to Penn State? One of them went.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how this is a copycat league because now Verbo is an old school guy. Like Derrick Henry, it's pretty much all you got. You got Derrick Henry.
But as phenomenal as he is, this is what I'm saying. His cards will probably never be worth anything because nobody values that position. Only quarterbacks. Only like TJ Watt. TJ Watt is unreal. The best linebacker in the league. The best outside linebacker anyway. And so I get his autograph rookie card, and who cares? I mean, it's going to go for some money, but it probably will never be worth what it should be.
Who's that? Is that Matt Leinart? Who's
Paul Maranovich. If you don't know his story,
Todd Maranovich, yeah, he was where the dad was super living through him and no
cheeseburger.
Yeah, he grew him up. He grew up on protein shakes and stuff.
Yeah, no McDonald's Happy Meals, no childhood.
Imagine what his rookie card would go for his rookie season.
He was born to do this.
His dream was to play at USC, then play in the NFL. That was his dream, and apparently, once he reached his dream, he lost his fire. He didn't
you know what though? I'm not sure it was his dream. It was his dad's dream, and then he became.
So once he got there, he had no interest in it anymore.
Yeah, and then he became addicted to crack, and he was on the beach. It was a really sad story, but I think he turned his life around though.
Yeah, it was like a Josh Hamilton story. All the talent in the world. Here's some good names: Frank Gore.
Oh yeah,
Clinton Portis.
Clinton Portis was he doesn't get his due. He was a good running back.
Yeah, he was great. Jerome Bettis, the bus, of course, but he wasn't. He's not the same. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, but he wasn't the same as a Marshall Faulk, a Sean Alexander. 20 touchdown seasons while getting 1,200 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving.
Well, that's a different kind of back.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Most backs didn't have that much receiving.
Baby got back.
TD, Terrell Davis. Man, these are some great running backs, man.
Yeah, I think I mentioned Terrell Davis, didn't I, earlier?
You did. No,
yes,
you did.
There are just so many great running backs. If you look on the all-time rushing list, pick 20 of them. Tony Dorsett.
Yes.
I mean, man, insanely good. And really, the only running backs that anybody cares about is Walter Payton and Jimmy Brown.
Yeah.
Even Gale Sayers does not get his due. What a phenomenal football player.
Earl Campbell gets no love.
Earl Campbell gets no love. Nobody could tackle him, except for Donnie Shell, who broke his ribs.
Bro, it's phenomenal. How cheap you can get these Hall of Fame running backs.
Again, I know, but it's fun to collect them. But it's just unbelievable. But this is, you look to the past to kind of make better decisions for the future. And so that's when you live through all these rookie busts who start off great and then they tail off and you're stuck, you have all these 20 other cards and you see what's happened with these positions in football that really, unless you're Jerry Rice or you're, of the more modern era, it's all quarterbacks.
Yeah, because I think receivers.
How about Marvin Harrison? Marvin Harrison was insanely good. He's worth nothing.
Syracuse. Well, that's what I was leaning towards. I'm like, with the pass happy and the Mel Blount rule. These receivers. The greatest show on
everybody's
turf. They don't talk about them enough. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt.
Oh, you'll never.
Calvin Johnson just got in. But I think as it goes on, look at who's a young kid, Jamar Chase. He came into the league gangbusters. These cats, their numbers are going to be so ridiculous by the time they're not.
No kidding. They added a game. In addition to the rule changes, they added a game.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about football and why vintage football cards are just never going to have the value unless people get away from straight statistics. The rule changes have changed the game so dramatically from generation to generation. You can't compare stats. And so if you look on the leaderboard of any wide receivers, any quarterbacks, they're all going to be new players. And then you look at the leaderboards on running backs, they're all going to be old players because nobody cares about running the ball anymore. How about kick return? Who is it? Brian Mitchell that holds that all-time record? It'll never be broken.
Totally forgot.
Nobody returns a kick anymore.
Barry Sanders is probably the greatest football player I've ever seen in my lifetime.
He was Gale Sayers.
Come on, you're not comparing. You're saying Barry Sanders.
Gale Sayers. You look up how many his receiving too. Gale Sayers returned kicks, returned punts, was a receiver and a running back, and scored 6 touchdowns in a game.
I give you that,
which should have been 7 because they took him out at the 1 yard line and let somebody else run it.
I give you that, but did Gale Sayers ever play 1 versus 11? Because that's what Barry did every game.
Yes, the Bears sucked. They didn't have a quarterback or a wide receiver.
Bro. He played
that Bears team was one of the worst in history. Look it up. All they had was Gale Sayers and Dick Butkus on defense.
Detroit has been the worst franchise of its era since its inception.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. The Bears were the worst franchise of their era.
And then Barry took over. What you got, bro? Yeah, Barry Sanders, baby. Come on, I know you got some berries, John.
Hey, let me back up here. I love Barry Sanders. He's a phenomenal running back. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not saying
I know, of course.
But he wasn't the receiver and the returner and everything that Gale Sayers was. That's all I'm saying.
They didn't have who was his quarterback? Scott Mitchell. Who was Charlie Batch?
Who was Gale Sayers' quarterback? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Even people in Cleveland don't, or Chicago don't know.
Baker Mayfield.
I like Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to make a comeback somewhere someday.
Have you noticed he's been quiet? You know, he's a talker. He's serious. He wants to prove a lot of people wrong.
I wanted him to, but before I got my eyes on Kenny Pickett, I wanted him to come to Pittsburgh because he just seems like a Pittsburgh tough quarterback who stands in there and gets his ass beat
and talks shit.
It's fun. I'm kind of a fan of his, to be honest.
All right, guys, come on.
But come on, how many quarterbacks succeeded in Cleveland? Name them.
Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah, Vinny Testaverde in Cleveland was successful.
I mean, most successful.
Did he even play for Cleveland?
Oh, who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Bernie Kosar.
I'm thinking Bernie.
Okay, what year was that? How many decades ago was that?
Wrong Miami quarterback.
Yeah.
Before we've been on this for about 90 minutes.
And by the way, he wasn't successful. I mean, he never went to a Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, you're right about that.
I'm trying, but he was a good quarterback.
You don't have to. He was their best one, though, right? Who's their best?
He's the last good quarterback they had. Yes.
I had video on my mind because he was on my flight on the way back from the National.
I mean, look who they had Brady Quinn, Tim Couch. I mean, Baker Mayfield's he's the best quarterback they've had since
Johnny Manziel.
Since Bernie. Yeah, Johnny Manziel. I mean, just one bust after another.
Too, dude. Johnny Manziel was a big hype.
Actually, what was that one dude's name? Man, he had a playoff game where he just threw all over the field, and he would show signs of greatness. I kind of was a fan of his.
He was tall because he was throwing to
I'm forgetting his name.
The guy who smokes all the weed.
Gordon.
Yeah, Flash Gordon. I thought was going to be phenomenal.
Everybody hyped him up so much, and then you just never heard of him again.
Who was the? Yeah, you're right. There was a quarterback that kept on throwing the Flash.
Yeah,
super tall.
Actually, I think it was right before Flash.
I thought he was.
No, he wasn't super tall. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
Browns quarterbacks. Because there's a guy, there's a Cleveland Browns fan that has the quarterbacks of all the jersey name or all the quarterback names on his jersey.
Yeah, he was like real up and down, but when he was on, he was like kind of unstoppable.
What sport? Otto Graham. Otto Graham is the best quarterback.
Sports-wise, talking about the three major sports: baseball, football, basketball. Which one do you think, like ranking-wise, 1, 2, 3, is affected more by like where you go? Because say football, if you're a wide receiver and you're great and you have a great quarterback, you're putting big numbers. You get traded to a team that has a sucky quarterback, your numbers are going to go down. You know what I mean? In baseball,
absolutely.
You get traded, you're kind of still on your own, right? It's still up to you what you get.
Okay,
you are so affected.
Basketball too. It's a team sport.
Like look at Najee Harris last year. He's playing with the worst offensive line in the league. He never had a single hole. Every yard he got on his own, pretty much. But you play like Emmitt Smith's line, I mean, where there were gaping holes he would run through. So there's a big difference.
I got two things. I got two things for you. Vinny Testaverde did play. I knew I had a football card of Vinny playing for Cleveland. He played for Cleveland in 94 and 95.
Yeah, but it was like a short stint.
It doesn't matter. He played for Cleveland. You say he didn't play for Cleveland. And
no. I asked you if he played for Cleveland.
Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson. That's it.
Scott wins. I just saw it, but
that's it. Derek Anderson.
Yeah, I thought Derek Anderson was going to be nice.
He showed signs of greatness, but he's very inconsistent.
Brian Hoyer, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, Casey Keenum.
Yeah, Casey Keenum, I forgot about him.
They had a lot of damn quarterbacks.
Hey, my wife, my wife saw this at a thrift store, right? It's a binder.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Do you need this? Do you want this?" Like, she sent me a picture. I was working at Dodge Stadium. She sends a picture. "Do you want this?" And I said, "No, not really. It doesn't really fit with what I have, you know." But when I got home, she bought it for me. I was like, "Hey, you bought it? I told you I didn't really need it." So yeah, but when we go camping, I just figured you could put your cards in it because you always just have them on the floor, in the car when we drive home.
Yeah.
So, even if you keep it in the box, you don't want to ding the corners because they'll fly around unless you have them top loader. You bring card savers. That's actually a good idea.
I don't think I've ever pulled anything great while I've been camping. I do it every year. I take a bunch of blasters, take a bunch of hobby packs. I don't think I've ever pulled anything good while I've been camping.
You know, after as listening to our conversation, I have to believe that we have no viewers left, right?
Bro, we got 37, bro. We got 37 in the chat. Yo, you want to hear something funny? The battery. He goes, "Would you not agree that John Mangini could be Hines Ward's stunt double, identical twins, separate?" And now that he says it, I kind of see it. Like, you're like the lighter skinned version of Hines Ward, bro.
All right, man.
You know,
I'll take that as a compliment. That dude was the best blocking wide receiver in history.
I mean, some people think I'm crazy because I'd rather take Hines Ward than Anquan Bolden all day, every day. Hines Ward to me was phenomenal. I
am a huge Hines Ward fan, I think you're smoking crack with saying that.
What?
Anquan Bolden single-handedly won a championship game and a Super Bowl.
I just don't see
it. And the year he left, Baltimore had the worst season they ever had in their lives. A year after the Super Bowl, he single-handedly won that championship game and Super Bowl.
I thought Anquan Bolden
replacements don't lie.
Anquan Bolden patented his game after Hines Ward. I just don't think he was as good as Hines Ward.
I loved Hines Ward, and Hines Ward, I believe, is underrated. I think he is better than people give him credit for. It's just Anquan Bolden, man. He was a beast. I was so impressed that year they won the Super Bowl watching him. I mean, he might not have been that good when he was young. Like maybe Hines was better, but at the peak of his career, he was unstoppable. I thought.
No, he was. I mean, I ain't saying he ain't good. I just rather have.
He had a year like Steve Smith had that one year. Steve Smith had a year or two where nobody could stop him.
And for a small receiver, he was so underrated. He was excellent.
Yeah, he was a phenomenal man. Nobody could stop him.
No, you're right about that. Where's his stats?
Except the quarterbacks they had.
Would have stopped him.
Except the quarterbacks they had.
Yeah, Anquan Bolden, 3 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl champ, NFL Rookie of the Year, All Rookie team. That's it. 1,076 receptions, 13,000 yards, 82 receiving touchdowns. Let's see what Hines Ward got.
Well, I mean, Hines Ward was more dynamic, like in the open field kind of thing, and he was money. He never dropped the ball. But Bolden will go up and take the ball from people. You'd see him go up against 2 guys, and they were all in position to make the play, and Bolden will come down with that ball.
Nah, their numbers are pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
There you go, looking at numbers.
The Hail Mary has a big part to do with Aaron Judge's success.
Hey Lou, how many numbers ever won you a Super Bowl?
You know what? It's funny. I use that same argument when people defend Moneyball and Bean. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they've never won a Super Bowl, a World Series with that.
The only numbers they've ever had were saved numbers. I mean, they stayed in the black. Whoop-de-doo. That's the only numbers that was good for. I mean, they haven't won anything.
Every time I watch Moneyball at the end of the movie, I was like, you should have went to Boston.
Yeah.
You should have went to Boston.
Especially if you were a Yankee fan.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. We've been on 90 minutes. Show some cards, and then we get off of here. I need to get one more drink.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Show some cards, though. Show some cards, bro.
Show some cards.
Yeah, show some cards.
Can anybody see them?
This is still a card channel. I sometimes I just throw a card random. What you got, bro?
1929 Cashin.
Oof. Guy's showing fire.
I got a Mantle and Boyer.
Oh,
Boyer was really good, man. He's one of those people that got forgot.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't good for long, though, was he, Pepino?
No, he just had a couple of good years during that time.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because Rick had me. Ray from Philly got me confused because he had him on like a Boyer for like Call to the Hall, like possible for Boyer.
He had a couple of really great years, just like you. Same thing.
That's phenomenal.
He's one of those people. If he pulled up those numbers right now, people would be thinking he's going to do this forever, and he didn't.
No.
Yeah.
This is one of those old, really old Beckett grades.
That's my favorite Bonds rookie.
Where the grades are in the back. When
Beckett
Baker in the back.
My eyes deceive me.
Yeah, home run Baker.
That's my favorite Bonds card right there, bro. Briggs meat. Just stop talking and just show the cards, baby. This is still a card channel. Show cards. I can't see that one.
Nap Ladjaway.
Oh.
That's nice. Nap's a Joey.
He was
Joey.
Do you know
that's what I used to call him growing up, but when I listened to that the tapes on that book Glory of Their Times, they call him Ladjaway.
What was his like background? What was like his tribe? Because he was part
he was French.
Oh, I thought he was like part Indian.
Napoleon?
No, Najaway.
Yeah, Napoleon Ladjaway.
Yeah, Napoleon.
Yeah, I could have swore someone said he was Indian.
No, he was French.
I'm gonna look it up.
You look it up.
He's like the rival driver from Talladega Nights.
Right. How about this Connie Mack and Lefty Grove? I love this.
Sweet. Man, that's something you don't see all the time at all.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm drunk. I'm thinking Chief Bender.
Is he French?
I'm thinking Chief Bender.
Was he French? And then Zach Wheat, they always said was Native American, and I don't think he was. I think that was wrong. Zach Wheat. I think that was. I heard that was not true, so I don't know. Everybody always said he was a Native American.
I want to see. Because I was going to ask you the OG Weed tribe.
Dude, here's the man of the hour.
Crow Wing County, Minnesota.
Invest now, people. Invest now.
What card? Is that a top snap card?
That's the greatest shortstop?
Yeah, what is this? The Father's Day or something? Oh, National Trading Card Day. Yeah, you're right.
No, I mean, if people listen to John, they would have known this already, because, like he said, how can you be the best player in the league and lead the league in errors? You can't.
Every year.
Yeah, you can't be the best at your position.
Pepino, what was that last card? What serial card was that? Was that serial?
That's a 3D of Don Sutton.
Yeah,
but it's a 3D card.
I need that one.
What year is that?
76.
Oh, yeah. Man, I love the Kellogg's cards.
The Kellogg's are the best. All right, guys. Any final thoughts? Let's break some hearts. We got to break some hearts. People don't want us to go, but we got to go.
This is a cool card.
I love that the way they capture that moment.
Both these guys, what a year they had. They were so much fun to watch. Oh, man.
I bet you they were better to party with.
Probably.
The Sugar Booger? What is it? Sugar Booger Brothers?
The Sugar Booger. Are you kidding me? That's they I don't know about then, but now Doc is way worse than Sugar.
Oh, Doc is. I don't know. He's doing all right, man.
You know, I have his rookie card, and he signed it my rookie card, and I just freaking love it. It's so awesome.
He did not.
Yes, he did. It says my rookie card. That's how he signed it.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, I showed it before. I gotta dig it out. This is what I'm saying. I have too many boxes. I don't even know where it is.
No. Well, beautiful people, I appreciate it. This is half the time I forgot we had people watching us, because this is what we do. We just talk, chillax. What's my boy? What's my boy?
Chillax.
What's
Pepino doing?
That's a Charizard.
He's showing Pokemon, bro.
You showing Pokemon cards?
You see, you were talking shit about Pokemon collectors, and my man Pepino.
I hope NY Yanks Fan 7's still on.
Man, did John say invest? He didn't say invest. Did you say invest?
I did. I was being facetious.
Oh,
I was joking. I said invest now.
All right.
All right.
Nope. My man stretching.
I pulled that. All right, guys. Thanks.
This is always fun.
Jeez, thanks.
Go get a drink.
Love you, everybody. All right.
Peace. And with that, peace out.
Hey.
Go Yankees. I got to fill up my drink.